Welcome back to the currency space then, where the Indian rupee hit a 3-month low at 51.64 on the opening trade, but has trimmed losses on talk about the central bank dollar sales hopes there. So there you have it. The closing came in at around positive at 51.42. But there have been worries about global growth that have lingered as Europe continues to stumble through a sovereign debt crisis, while China announced disappointing imports data, putting pressure on most Asian and commodity currencies today. Let's get in then. BRAHMBHATT, he is CEO ALPARI.FOREX, and he joins us from Ahmedabad studios. Pramit, hi, welcome to the show. The opening of the Indian rupee was quite weak, but the closing has been slightly positive. What do you read in this choppiness today?
I think what we have observed in last week or so is that rupee is ranging between 50.80 to a broad range of 51.60 to 51.70, and there is a pressure building to see a breakout. I'm not optimistic about the rupee at this point of time.
Pramit, are you looking at levels like 53, 54? Because the latest Nomura report says or mentions that is where the rupee is headed.
Well, if you look at the existing situation, the market has a lot of hope on the 17th April policy. We're expecting the interest rate cut. But even if there is an interest rate cut, I don't see that is going to help the rupee. And we can see that rupee in the coming week, if the global scenario remain as it is, it can trade above 52 level at this point of time.
Vijay, let me get you into the conversation as well. You have been talking about that 52 mark, though we have been dodging it slightly, but do you think it's coming?
Manisha, the April future, which I've been advocating as a target of 52, hit exactly that bullseye, and it's basically drifted somewhat lower. Now, that's kind of expected because the stock market has been a little buoyant and there's been profit taking on the US dollar. But I would maintain that the overall trend of the US dollar vis-a-vis the Indian rupee is still up. And should I manage to get the April NSE futures at 51.35 odd levels, I would go out and buy the US dollar, hold that with a stop loss of 51.05 and expect to book profits all the way to 51.80 or 51.90 again. This time though, the closer it gets to 52 levels, the profit taking might be just a little more aggressive. So one has to be nimble-footed in terms of booking profits at around 51.80. But I would still buy the dips rather than sell the rallies.
Okay, but there are lots of international concerns also coming into the market. Pramit, how would you look at a euro because of the debt concerns from Europe have just come back and the kind of Spanish and Italy bonds that we have seen surging? How would you read into all of that?
Absolutely, what we have seen in the bond auction of Spain and the other countries, that it is costing very high. It means that the risk appetite over there is still not that much. And still the European debt concern is there. It means it is going to reflect it in the dollar prices, and it will overall affect the Asian market. So that way it will be reflected in the rupee. So the debt concern is also one of the concern at this point of time for the dollar rupee pricing.
Pramit, are you surprised that the euro hasn't breached below 1.30, and that also is the reason that the dollar index hasn't gone above 80 in the last few sessions?
If you see that there is a pressure building on euro, it keeps dropping below 1.31 level, going all the way up to 1.370 and coming back. So there is a pressure building, and if it managed to break 1.30, then we can see the range of 1.27. And I don't think that is an unlikely event. Looking at the pressure building on the euro, it can breach 1.30 level in the coming weeks' time as well.
Vijay, how is it looking on charts, the euro and the dollar index? What levels do you have in mind?
I continue with my view on the dollar index that the upsides would be capped at the 80.40 level. I think that's a very stiff resistance, and at declines I think 78.60 though almost a buck here lower from here would be a support to watch out for, unless this index moves beyond these two parameters, 80.40 on the upside and 78.60 on the downside. I would not basically venture out a unidirectional call. I think it would be range bound.
Final word from you, Pramit, on the Japanese yen, which is trading at a multi-week highs versus the euro and the dollar as well. Do you see it gaining further?
I think so that the yen has changed the trend, and as we have observed in the past as well, that yen moves in the one direction for a good amount of time against the other currencies, and it seems that the trend has changed for yen, and we can see even the higher levels in coming week time.
All right, so that's a view coming in foreign currencies from our experts, Pramit and Vijay. Thank you so much for taking time out for us. So the rupee is on a decline, while the euro and the dollar index are the levels that you need to watch out for in coming sessions. With that, it's a wrap on hot commodities. Thank you so much for watching.